So in this video, I just want to go over what it looks like to experience a BQH session and what to do to be prepared. So typically for my Beyond Quantum Healing sessions, I like to schedule about a 4-hour block of time. The actual hypnosis length of time typically runs from about 90 minutes to 2 hours to 2.5 hours. It really just depends on the client. Sometimes it can go to 3 hours, but I like to block a 4-hour chunk of time off for our session together so that we can have time at the beginning to really clarify the questions that you're coming in with, to make sure that they read well, that I understand the questions, to also really take the time to clarify your overarching intention. And then we take some time to do an intention setting, really calling that intention forth. And then we also take a glass of water or a water bottle and infuse your intention into that water. So there's a whole little, opening ceremony, so to speak, that I like to do. And then we get you situated. If you're doing a BQH session via Zoom or online, then I ask that you have a great camera and a great audio. The audio is more important than the camera. I need to be able to hear you loud and clear, especially when you start to get into those more relaxed states. The voice tends to want to drop. And I actually wear hearing aids, and so that whole combination makes it really important to have a really good microphone and to get that set up, and to kind of know ahead of time, ahead of your session, that you've got the equipment to make the session work. It's also important to be in a room or some sort of private location where you're not going to be disturbed for the whole portion of your session. But anyways, once we do that opening ceremony, we get you under hypnosis. I do basically an induction script where I read a script, and then I kind of bring my own intuitive wording and flow into it depending on the client, and get you really relaxed. And then we enter a place in that script, in that journey, where you basically you go through a tunnel and you enter the other side of the tunnel, and it's the unknown. It's wherever your spirit needs to take you, that's where you go. Wherever your unconscious needs to take you, that's where you go. And then you start to actually speak to me using your words in that relaxed hypnosis space, what you see, what you feel, what you experience, and then we just go on a journey from there. I'm just asking you clarifying questions, getting a sense of where you are, what's happening, and then we just kind of roll, and you experience whatever you need to experience in that, whether that's a time frame or whether that's a location or other world or other space. And I mean, really, there are no limits to where you can go during these sessions and what you experience. But I just guide you along, and it might be past life, then past life, then past life. It could be anything, really. It's very open. It's very undetermined. And I just trust that you know exactly where you need to go, and we just explore that. At some point, I will find the right moment to bring in the list of questions that you came into the session with and start to ask those questions, whether to an aspect of yourself in a past life, whether that's to a guardian angel or spirit guide, whether that's to your own higher self. The answers to the questions that you come up with can come from anywhere. And it's very different for everyone, but every time somebody goes into these sessions, they always come out with answers. And often the answers seem sometimes to be really simple or sometimes to be really obvious, but they're exactly what that client needed to hear. And they really help to clarify any questions, or that's why you had those questions to begin with, right? It's just so the answers definitely help clarify those. And so once we finish up with the hypnosis portion, it's pretty intuitive, and we'll find a good ending spot, and then we will take our time coming out of that hypnosis. And then I like to take a few minutes to just recap what we experienced. and talk about it, orient yourself, you know, and really make sure that you have a firm grasp on what happened, and just be there to provide any extra support. And then we wrap up. And if we do these sessions on Zoom, then the whole session is recorded. If these sessions are in person in Ogden, Utah, then I ask that you bring some sort of audio device to record the session yourself. But yeah, that about covers it. And sometimes it takes, you know, many days for the integration to happen, sometimes many months, and everybody is really different. So it really just depends on you and your journey, and, you know, what got stirred up and what needs to be integrated. So hopefully that answers some of your BQH questions.